Hi, and welcome back to another episode of the History of Fan Anime. I'm your host, William Chow, and today's episode, again, another interesting episode about interviews. I've got an interview with more of my friends that from the past, and we would talk about older times, different things about anime, and of course, some of the history that has passed along the way. All right. Before I begin, I'd like to remind people to go down below and click like and click subscribe. Even if you want to leave a comment below about this particular video and some opinions that you have, by all means, that does help the algorithm for YouTube. If you're interested in supporting me financially, I have the links for the super thanks as well as the PayPal and Patreon links below, where you can subscribe and get the special content that I cannot post here on YouTube. Again, there's a list with the link below of all the various different episodes I have for the History of Fan Anime, as well as the extra episodes that are available to the subscribers. And then it covers a lot of the content that, again, just YouTube just won't allow me to talk about. So, all the extra content is there, all right? So, in today's episode, we're going to have an interview with my friend Troy. Now, Troy, lives, quite a ways out from Vancouver, still within what they call the Greater Vancouver Regional District. But it's a fair ways away, a good 45 minutes to an hour out of town by car. We get together once in a while and basically go over different things. In today's interview, we can go talk more about that. Okay, so without further delay, let's begin.
Look, I love
That
the
entire experience of actually going to, where you get with other people, that kind of stuff. It's not about that anymore. It's
No.
just I want my
I got
my
60
shell
minutes,
or
yeah.
bubble around me.
Yeah.
Stay whatever 6 feet. Whatever.
Yeah.
You do you on your side.
Yeah.
I'm me on this side.
and
This whole entire, and I think that's one of the things that probably starting. 2000. Yeah, 2000, I'd say 2015, 2014, even maybe
maybe
even a little bit before. This whole entire shift from, I guess you call it the V movement. Everything's about,
yeah,
because it used to be that we would go to the convention,
yeah,
and people were there to go see anime. They want to see whatever the new thing is, whatever the thing is. But now, it's more like, come to the convention to see me. Like, here's what I've got here, and here's my business card. Please look at my Instagram, my Twitter, my whatever you take,
TikTok,
whatever. Like it's all about my this, my that, my that. Please subscribe, please do this, please like me, whatever. They're looking for some sort of self-validation or whatever it happens to be from like freaking total strangers. But
I mean, for us to give them an example.
But what happened? What happened to just meeting people that you can negotiate with, and then that that themselves gives you validation, not like from like true validation. People are because you get people out there that say, well, I'm gonna do whatever, put a tattoo on my forehead or something, and then they'll make a video or something and say, is this a good idea? No, you look at these followers who are all your close strangers. Yeah, you do that, girl. Yeah. Empowerment. Yeah, you go ahead.
But it goes back to that. Are these people, regardless of them being me out there on TikTok, are they supportive of you in real life? Are they not just close friends or acquaintances, but when you go to a con and you're having a bad experience or something, but not just the older generations there, but a couple of friends who are really there for you, that's what the convention should be about. It should be about you and your experience, what you want to enjoy, whether it's reading a manga on the floor, cruising through the art gallery, doing a panel.
And Troy makes a really good point that, I don't know if we really ever get back to that point where, you go to a convention, to share the same sort of, passion, the same sort of likeness for the actual animes and that kind of stuff. So you can discuss people that have similar tastes and go and be in certain circles with different anime fans and all kind of stuff in the same way. Because now if you approach somebody and you don't know who they are or whatever, then all of a sudden everyone's thinks that you're getting creepy, or if you actually happen to be a follower or whatever these people, and then you're trying to get together in a group, then you can get accused of like stalking or encroaching on someone's area. So this. I don't know if it's just the extra bit of toxicity of social media and these protective bubbles, the whole entire, like I said, me movement and all this other stuff. It all becomes part of self promotion. People trying to get self validation for things, and if you truly interact with people in a in a common sort of public area like this, you will receive your validation. You will know whether you meet good people, people who have interested in same interests and whatnot. People who are actually there for the anime, not for just for themselves, shall we say. Then you'll see those true people, and I think we're getting away from that, and the celebration of the anime is now just becoming a really hollow, moniker for these conventions. Possibly, just because I said, maybe that's just the difference between how maybe Anime Evolution and Anime Rebel gets run. Because I definitely think that when you take the core people that care out of the from the top, it definitely funnels all the way down to the bottom. So that's just another thing that that happens.
What you guys now have is a catalog of various animes, old and new, what you're able to choose from, where we had to, again, for me living up in the valley, coming to Will Shop, getting a dub or even original, not a DVD, but videotape.
Yeah, videotapes.
Didn't you have one or two beta at the time too?
Yeah, I had a couple of videos, yeah.
And we had to take these home, rent them, kind of sub and dub as well. And what you saw with your friends, and again, look, we know the world is crazy right now. Yeah, even our own lives are crazy. But again, I think if we can be ourselves in our community.
Troy makes out the point that a lot of times people will come into my store and they'll grab a bunch of videos and that kind of stuff, and maybe run a couple just because the fact that it takes so much effort to to come in once all the time, right? But they come in with the knowledge that a lot of times they're not just in it there just for themselves, right? So a lot of times they're renting for and getting titles for their little group or their little band of circle or friends that they're gonna watch, that they're sort of interested in anime as well. Because what's going to end up happening is that obviously if you get and are interested in a particular anime, let's say Bubblegum Crisis or something, right? Then chances are all the friends around that person is also going to be interested in similar things, whether it's because it's cyberpunk, whether it's guns, or whether it's the girls' guns and gores, trick, that type of thing. Chances are they're going to get exposed to the same sort of thing. So again, this is how anime sort of spreads in small pockets into basically into communities, and that's why this sort of community connection, this sort of actual real in touch with people sort of experience is so important at this particular time. And I think it's this again in the modern day, we've been disconnected. We've been we're staying apart from each other, and everything's very, very much more artificial. It's as we don't need everyone else around us, but at the same time, maybe not need is the right word, but I mean it's just that now we interact differently, and that same sort of closeness, that same sort of interaction, that same sort of actually learning and social skill is not there like it used to be.
2009, the Yowie guy from Seattle getting your hot screaming Yowie, your hot screaming
Oh,
Yowie.
yeah.
And he's at the time, I guess it's
That was a big
but I call them hazing paddles. They called them Yowie paddles. And they were spanking people's bottoms. and that was not really cool, and a lot of people got hit hard.
Yeah.
And
And it's one of those things that who came up with that idea?
I don't know, but I can tell you those who right now are cosplaying, whether they're cosplaying professionally or cosplay for you, don't cosplay for other people.
Yeah.
Makes reference to the Yahweh guy who is this guy from vendor from Seattle that brought in the concept of the Yahweh paddle, and all it was is just basically a wooden sort of oar, or kind of a wooden sort of kind of a pad with a stick on the end of it, sort of thing, a paddle as it were. But it just has the word Yahweh, or sometimes they'll actually have the word Yuri written on it. And people would buy these things to basically hit each other with it. Basically try to spank each other with it. And of course, this is obviously a big problem with, harassment and whatnot. And, whether or not, a lot of it was definitely, not consensual. It's just sort of, it's like basically trying to play Cocho without people actually being in on the game, right? It's just really, it makes the assumption that people, want to participate in, said game or whatever. Clomping is another, one of these things that comes out of conventions that people just are totally oblivious of, consent and that kind of stuff in this. It's just very derogatory behavior. But this. In the, shall I say, in this particular era, just shortly after the crash, this really, really derogatory behavior of, in the sense that, we're no longer, again, appreciating the anime, appreciating, sort of, positive contact with people rather than just, trying to just do just do things because you want to, or not have not being considerate of what other people think or feel, invading personal space and all this other stuff, taking people out of the comfort zone, all in the name of your fun, sort of thing, and that's what these things like this, and the whole entire game of glomping and things like that is just are just really horrible social games to play.
And seeing people in our community now, because we're a little bit older, you can call us pops at con or grandpa when we do, but we've seen a lot, and you will see a lot in your generation as well. And value it. Value those experiences. Value those people who you meet. And it helps you grow. It helps you grow as an individual, but also as a member in our community. And I think, again, this is what we kind of lost. I'm not trying to get down on Justin and Nagiri specifically, but we have these type of individuals out there that are always about me and how famous I can be,
Yeah, well,
and the thing is, our original intention from I didn't get to the Harbor Center one, was this was for all the fans. Didn't matter what your body type was, didn't matter if you're single, didn't matter if you're married, didn't matter what your sexuality is or your pronoun or whatever. You came to the event as you, whatever cosplay you're in or non-cosplay, cruising to dealer's room or hanging out with your friends or going. Some people went to parties, that's fine. We're going to acknowledge the parties back in the day.
Yes,
but it was for you to enjoy. And a lot of hard work went into those various events held by various different individuals in our community, even up to today. And it's just how amazing, from my point of view, we started off at the Harbor Center, 2003. I think we're almost at the 25th anniversary of Anime Evolution in itself.
Yeah.
That's been around that long. And, Revolution now has had maybe 10 years. But we haven't, my point is, regardless of the names of the events that are or not happening, we have a community out there that is strong, still strong, and I would love to see us get back to some kind of value of ourselves for one, and instead of this, like we were talking about an I concept, yes, you are an I, but the con is about a we.
Yes.
How we interact with it, how even from, let's say, the corporate side, that's I've volunteered, I've been in staff and management, but it's about a we aspect, and how do we help each other?
Troy mentions the location that we have downtown on our waterfront called Harbor Center Mall. That used to have classrooms and whatnot from the Simon Fraser University on the upstairs. So that basically, I think the deal was is that as we had relations with the Ultra Reality Anime Club of SFU, and using their influence and using their rates, we were able to get a better deal on the lecture hall theaters and the extra spaces, and also the classrooms inside Harbor Center to put the convention in there. And it was really nice because it said nice location right along the waterfront. Great view, as well as great place to take pictures and that kind of stuff. All the conveniences and that kind of stuff were there, so very, very nice in there. But the other point that he also makes is that I think in the earlier days, a lot of effort and thought was put in about the con goers, or individual user experience, right? People from the top actually cared about what what people would be interested in, what kind of content that they'd be interested in doing, and basically trying to help improve overall customer satisfaction, and have a very good positive con going experience for people. Okay. But now I think in the way that things, for example, like Anime Revo is run, it's very corporate. The people who run it are obviously aren't not even local. I don't think that that same sort of concentration of the commitment, tailoring towards the anime fan, customer satisfaction, all that kind of stuff is not there anymore, and it just seems kind of sad that the people in power and whatnot just don't realize that it's just in the end it's the people who go to these conventions. They want to be and express themselves and enjoy and have an enjoyable experience at the convention, and it's it is the job of the convention people that create these conventions to have that as pretty much their mission statement. That should be your number one goal. But unfortunately, I think it's now turned into, well, how can we make money off of the vendors? How can we recoup our money from the people who are in the vendors hall, right? Who cares if it has to do with anime or not? As long as somebody's willing to pay us the money for a spot in the convention hall, we'll put it in there, whether it has to do with anything with anime or not. Okay, we'll bring people for content, whether or not it's really anime related or not, or it's just somebody who's willing to fill the slot or pay some money to do a talk or something, or if it's just popular, we'll stick them in there. Okay. We just want people to pay money at the door so we can get, we can just rake in the cash, right? They're basically just treating people as wallets, not even caring about whether or not it actually, even has to do with anime. What kind of experience are you going to provide the fans that come to your convention? No. They're just interested in recouping their thing, recouping their their investment into the convention, and walking away with the money. Okay, and it's really, I don't know if it's just cold reality or it's just the way the management runs these things. It just gets a bad situation when it's degraded to this level. Okay, so I hope you found that really interesting, and I always find it really interesting, to go and talk to some of the old people, because they always bring up stories that I sort of sometimes forget, or I don't quite have the exact wording sometimes because I don't want to say something in regards to in about someone's story, when they can say it properly themselves, because I might get some details wrong or whatever. So it's always better that you get the information straight from them, as well as it's they always have some different perspective that maybe I just kind of forgot about, because so much time has passed. Sometimes I tend to forget them. So it's always good to to have a good conversation about that. Again, I will be doing more of them, so stay tuned for that. All right. So until next time, I will see you again.